Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Pond Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you a matchup between the third and fourth place teams in the Pacific League. It'll be the Orix Buffaloes and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Pretty much the only thing that is left is the jockeying for positions, and that would be between the Bay Stars of the Giants for second and third place in the Central League. All of the other positions are pretty much solidified as the Hawks have clinched first place in the Pacific League. The Fighters have second, and they will await the Orix Buffaloes for the first round in the Climax Series between the Buffaloes and the Fighters. That series will go off in Hokkaido. Well, tonight, what do we have? Well, we've got a couple of teams that now, being the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, are 6.5 games back behind the Orix Buffaloes, and they're unable to catch them as the Buffaloes and both the Golden Eagles have 137 games played. So this is what we would call playing out the string. The Eagles are trying to keep fourth place as they have a 2.5 game lead over the Saitama Sea Blue Lions. The Chiba Lotte Marines are currently anchored in last place. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you the starting lineups for the visitors from Tohoku, as they will lead off. Leading off is number 32, Daisuke Nakashima. Batting second and playing shortstop is number 1, Rui Muniyama. Hitting third at second base is number 24, Fumiya Kurakawa. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 9, Luke Voigt. Batting in the fifth spot at first base is number 3, Hideto Asamura. Batting in the sixth spot is the third baseman, number 23, Mikael Franco. Hitting seventh and in left field is number 39, Yukiya Ito. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 70, Tsuyoshi Ishihara. And batting ninth in right field is number 51, Yuya Ogo. And who are they facing? Well, sending to the hill tonight for the Buffaloes, it'll be their ace, Hiroya Miyagi. He has a 6-3 record on the year. He's worked 143 in the third innings, allowing 126 hits, 39 runs, 38 have been earned, walking 28 and striking out a career high 158 batters while pitching to a 2.39 ERA. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Tohoku. Now your starting lineup for the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off and playing in right field tonight wearing number 30 is Taisi Haruka. Batting second at first base is number 31, Ryo Oda. Batting third at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. And the cleanup spot in left field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Batting fifth and doing the catching, number 2, Kenya Wakitsuki. Batting in the sixth spot and doing the designated hitting is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. Batting seventh at third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. In the eighth spot and playing second base is number 10, Koji Oshiro. And batting ninth in center field is number 8, Yusuke Mugatani. And they're going to be facing Masaru Fuji, who takes to the hill with an even 6-6 record. He's worked 108 innings, allowing 114 hits, 41 runs, 37 have been earned, walking 43 and striking out 58, all to a 3.08 earned run average. Well, those are your starting lineups. First pitch is just around the corner in a few minutes, and we'll be back in just a few after this. Our friend God is Great is in the house, as he is up in that region, in the Sendai region. We look forward to having him listening in here with us tonight as well. It is Buffaloes and Eagles when we return in just a couple of moments. Our friend Mike is back, and Mike left a little early last night. God is Great says hopefully the game will be just as good as last night's. That was one of the crazier ball games that we've had this season. The only other game that I can think of was the Bay Stars and the Carp early in the year. Something similar to that. We'll be back in just a few. It is first pitch just around the corner on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Roy Miyagi just completing his tune-up tosses, and our first pitch is just around the corner. It is the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel, Buffaloes and Eagles, when we return in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. The Orix Buffaloes are wearing their black uniforms with the gold pinstripes. They got the pinwheel all over the hat as well. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this particular getup, but the Buffaloes are, hopefully they can play better than how they look. I'm not a huge fan of this particular jersey that they are offering tonight. The Eagles, on the other hand, well, Eagles are in a more traditional look as they are going to be taking to the field tonight with their white pants and maroon tops. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball that misses inside to Naisuke Nakashima, and it is ball one, and we are underway. Nakashima hitting .274 on the year, 6 homers and 31 RBIs, batting from the left side here against Miyagi. And there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-hander against the left-hander. Miyagi ready to go again, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is tapped softly foul over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Muniyama and Kurikawa to follow here for the Eagles in the top of the first, as there's a fastball swung on it. It grounded on 1 hop, fielded by the third baseman Yuma Mune, who fires to first. And Nakashima is in the books on a ground out, 5-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from left to right field, Nakagawa is in left. The center fielder is Mugatani. Right field, it's Haruka. Around the horn from first to third, Oda's at first, Oshiro's at second, Kobayashi at short, Mune at third with the battery of Miyagi and Wakatsuki. There is a fastball swung on it. Is grounded softly over to second. Fielding it on the run is Oshiro. He underhand flips it to first, and Muniyama is gone as well. Ground out 4-3. So 2 outs here quickly for the Golden Eagles. It'll leave it all up to the second baseman in Fumiya Kurikawa. Well, for Kurikawa, getting a chance to play somewhat more regularly. He's hitting .302. He's got 4 homers and 32 runs driven in. As he steps up ready to face Miyagi here. Another left-handed stick in the lineup as the first offering coming from the lefty is a slow breaking ball that is lifted foul into the seats. Looked like it was an eephus pitch in some regards, something out of the Zach Greinke playbook. And Kurikawa fouled that one off. It was at 84 kilometers an hour. For those of you, that would be about 52 miles an hour in the books. 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball just misses outside, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We will keep our eyes on all the other games around the NPB tonight. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Kurikawa. Other games this evening that are currently underway at the Koshin Stadium, it'll be the Tigers and the Dragons, and also underway at the Balluno Dome, top of the first, it is the Hawks and the Lions. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. A little less than 3 hours from now, it'll be the Marines and the Fighters, and then about 4 hours from now at the 1800-hour time in Japan, it'll be the Swallows and the Giants and the Carp and the Bay Stars. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Kurikawa's in the books. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and the Eagles go quietly here in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we are through a half inning, it is the Tohoku Rakuten Eagles, no score, and the Orix Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order coming to bat here for the Buffaloes to get things going in inning number 1, and that will be Taisi Haruka, Ryo Oda, and Kotaro Kobayashi. Curious tonight to see at the clip and the pace of this game when you have two teams that really don't have anything to play for here tonight. The Buffaloes have secured the playoff spot. The Eagles are currently flapping their wings to try to maintain 4th position. And the only thing that really is exciting would be the gamblers when they come in here tonight to find out if the over and under will hit, if the number of pitches thrown will be reached, and if these two ball clubs here will put up a lot of runs. Well, that's pretty much where we're at. This is also the time of the year that I would say I don't know if I was a gambler or putting money on the types of things. This would be the game that I would want to be doing. And the reason for that is that it's too much of a wild card where these games could end up, as both teams have different reasons and preparations coming up. First pitch is a fastball taken on the outside corner by Haruka. Count is quickly 0-1. Haruka batting .255 on the year, 7 homers and 30 runs driven in. And the breaking ball is swung on. This ball is going to get lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Fielding it is Ito, and stopping at first will be Haruka with a single. So he's got himself a leadoff single here, and that's going to bring up the first baseman in Ryo Oda. Well, for Oda, he's having himself a pretty good season this year. He's hitting .285. He's got 8 homers and 49 runs batted in. And by his standards, one of the better efforts in recent time. And this might be where the former top pick will be able to cement himself. A little surprised that they seem to be leaning toward him. He's played quite a bit of first base in the last couple of years. First pitch fastball misses outside. Count is 1-0. Of course, no Yuma Tongu in the lineup tonight. He has taken a majority of the reps at that position. So 1 ball and no strikes to Oda. He bats from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Fuji, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow right field. Coming in underneath it, and there to make the catch is the right fielder Ogo. And Oda is in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. Well, defensively tonight for the Golden Eagles, from left to right field, you've got Ito in left. The center fielder is Nakashima, and in right field it's Ogo. Around the horn from first to third, you've got Asamura at first. The second baseman is Kurikawa. Muniyama at short, and the third baseman is Franco, with the battery of Fuji and Ishihara. Our friend Harrison has poked his head in here tonight. Welcome back. There is a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Kobayashi. Kobayashi batting .256 on the year, 8 homers and 35 RBIs. He's a couple of home runs off his career high. So Kobayashi stepping in on the right side, waiting here on the offering, as the lefty works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. And there is a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. Interesting. I saw Kobayashi early in the year when he would hit, and he was kind of doing this piece where he would really hang up into the air, and now it looks like he's a little bit different. His leg kick has changed significantly. There it looked like he was able to get his foot down in time. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and there is a fastball swung on. His chop softly down the third baseline. They're going to let it roll, but it's going to stay in fair territory as Mikhail Franco picks it up. And Kobayashi is going to beat that out for an infield single. Advancing to second is Haruka. So now the Buffaloes have got something brewing here as they got runners at first and second with one gone. It'll bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. Well, for Nakagawa, he's hitting .283 on the year, 12 homers and 51 RBIs. I don't know. I don't really understand what the situation with Nakagawa is. Last year, he seemed to, I'd say struggle, but he wasn't in the lineup regular after a year removed. The 29-year-old batting from the right side, getting the start in left field tonight. Has played some center, has played some first base as well for the Buffaloes. Takes a first pitch, fastball down, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Harrison tapped out a little bit early last night. He missed one of the craziest games of the year. So 1 ball and no strikes as Nakagawa waits here on the offering from the lefty, who kicks and fires. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The home plate umpire for this game, as we typically get the battery of who the umpires are, the officials are for the game, is Umeki as the last name, and he's got a very, very vibrant strike call. There is a breaking ball down in the dirt, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. You always know who it is, as it looks like he is ready to come up throwing punches. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nakagawa. Buffaloes threatening early here in the first inning. They've got 2 on and 1 gone. Nakagawa should get a good pitch to hit here in this sequence as he stands in. Fuji works to the set. He checks the runners. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and in. And now the count goes to 3-1 on Nakagawa. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is. I'm interested in seeing Luke Voit hit. I'll be honest with you. We had the game on last week with the Eagles playing against the Fighters. And really happy to see Luke Voit having some success in the NPB. Here comes the 3-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded over to third. Franco fields it. He goes to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to erase Kobayashi. He goes in the books 5-4 on the putout. He's the second out of the inning. Advancing to third, his Haruka. And safe on the trail side at first base is Nakagawa, and that'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, as I mentioned, certainly watching the play of these 2 teams here, and certainly watching the play of Luke Voit. I've talked about this ad nauseum in other games. I talk about it being that when you come over as an import player, you have to be an impact player. And certainly Luke Voit, who is getting the start at DH tonight for the Eagles, has provided exactly that. Sometimes players come over and they get off to poor starts. You got to make a good first impression, and you got to be able to put up some big-time numbers quickly. And that is everything that Voit has done so far in his arrival in Tohoku. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded to short. Muniyama fields it. Underhand flips to the second baseman, Kurakawa. That's going to erase Nakagawa. He's going to be gone 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of inning number 1. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. The score as we are through 1 complete. It is the Eagles 0 and the Buffaloes 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few right after this timeout.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
It is that time of the night that we introduce our good friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. He'll keep you always entertained.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. Hiroya Miyagi has just completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action as it'll be the heart of the batting order to come to bat for the Eagles in inning number 2. That means Luke Voigt, Hideto Asamura, and Mikael Franco. That is a tough part of the order here for Miyagi. First pitch on the way to Voigt is a fastball swung on. It's lined over the head of the leaping third baseman Yuma Mune into left field. Voigt rounds first, and he slams on the brakes. And he has got himself a base hit. We didn't even give you the specs on him before he stepped into the box, but his hot hitting in the NPB continues. Hopefully, he's going to be able to get himself another contract. I was telling a story the other night about how in the NPB, the import players, only the import players, they have a special locker set up for them, and it's called Fight Money. And after each game, they go check the locker and they look in to see if their name is there. And depending on how they did, they get cash. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it with room to make the catch is the right fielder Haruka. And that is going to retire Asamura for the first out of the innings. So 2 pitches, a single and a flyout. As both of the teams here are making quick work when they come to the plate. And certainly the approach tonight for the Eagles against the Buffalo's left-hander is to take hacks early in the count. Well, that brings Mikael Franco to the plate. And for Franco, he is batting .239, 7 homers and 29 runs batted in. The 33-year-old is in his 3rd season in Tohoku, batting from the right side. And arguably, this could be his best. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. I'm curious to see if they would consider bringing him back for the 2026 season, or if this would be his swan song. I think being able to stay healthy and stay consistent when he is healthy would be the 2 things that he would have to produce, and I'm not sure that that is the recipe. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded through the 6 hole. The ball had eyes as it gets past the glove of the shortstop Kobayashi. And so now we've got runners at first and second, and it's going to bring Yukiya Ito to the plate. So just as the Buffaloes had something going in their half of the first inning, so too now to the Eagles in their half of inning number 2. So Ito stepping to the plate, only hitting .218 on the year. He's got 1 homer and 7 runs batted in. I have to tell you, some of the back-end players on these teams, or back-end players in the lineup, have some pretty ugly batting averages. So Ito steps in, batting from the right side. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that's waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Ito. NPB playoff action getting around the corner. Interestingly enough, there's still a bit of time in between games. I was having a conversation with a customer today. We're talking about when the games will be played. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. As we look ahead, they still have games to play in the NPB, and they usually do the cleanup in early October. And that is not any different. There are still regular season games that will go all the way until potentially the 6th of October. As the lefty holds to the set position, and here comes the pitch from Miyagi. Breaking ball swung on, chopped softly over to third. Stepping on third is Mune. It goes across the diamond, and that's going to be an inning-ending double play. What a nice play there by Mune. It is he grounded into a double play, 5-3 on the putout. As it erased Voigt for the second out at third base, he was gone on the force And that'll do it here. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There were a pair of hits. There was no errors, and there was only one runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the second inning, it is the Buffaloes no score and the Eagles no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this from our good friend Steve.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPG baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thank you there, Steve, and we appreciate your support of the channel. It is going to be coming to bat the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. That means Masahiro Nishino, Yuma Mune, and Koji Oshiro to face the left-handed starter Masaru Fuji for inning number 2. And so for the Buffaloes, looking to try to get something going here yet again as they did in the first inning. So Nishiro stepping in from the left side. These teams did not shy away, or the league does not shy away from putting left-handed hitters up against left-handed pitchers. As the first pitch on the way from Fuji is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It's the one thing that we definitely note regularly. Although I have to say, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, I saw the San Diego Padres earlier this year bring in a left-handed hitter to face a left-handed reliever. And it was a home run that was drilled. If I'm not mistaken, it was the former Baltimore Oriole Ryan O'Hearn, as that breaking ball was down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nishino. Was able to do the trick. You don't see that every day. 1-2 on the way. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2 on Nishino. But if the pace of this game continues as it is, you have to like it. That last night's game, oh boy, 4 hours. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined over the head of the third baseman, Franco. Oh, and it gets by the sliding left fielder and all the way into the corner. So rounding second, but then slamming on the brakes is Nishino. We're going to have to wait to see how they score that. I would think possibly, definitely a single for sure, maybe an error on the left fielder. We're going to have to take a look. I'm going to get another view of this one here as he had slid to get over there, and the ball just ended up getting by him all the way to the wall. I do believe they could have held him to a single, but we'll have to see if the scorer has something different in their mind. But definitely a base hit. Whether it's a single or a double variety, we'll have to follow that up. Well, that brings Yuma Mune to the plate. Mune batting .234, 6 homers and 28 RBIs. The 29-year-old batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Fuji, who kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball, misses down. Nice stop there by the catcher Ishihara. So 1 ball and no strikes. We'll have to wait for the official scoring on that one. And the official scoring is a double, so it is a home field double. As I said, you could have argued maybe a single with an error to the left fielder, but the home scorer feels that the need to give Oshiro the numbers. There is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Underneath it is Ito, and he's going to make the catch. And retreating back to first base is Mune, as he is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. So not a great piece of hitting by Mune. All he had to do was roll it over, and he would have done his job as he would have advanced the runner, but nothing in that at bat here, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Koji Oshiro. Well, for Oshiro, he's hitting .250 on the year, no homers and 6 RBIs. The 32-year-old second baseman getting the nod here tonight. Only 64 at-bats on the year. As the lefty Fuji works to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Oshiro. Our friend Mike, who popped in earlier, said last night was the game of the year as far as he had seen. As we mentioned, there was only one other game. It was the Bay Stars and the Carp early in the year that went extra innings. It was a crazy game. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined into right field. Ball's going to get down for a base hit. And stopping at third is Nishino as he throws on the brakes. So Oshiro with a single, Nishino stopping at third. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Yusuke Mugatani. Well, for Mugatani, hitting 224 on the year. He's got a homer and 9 runs batted in. So this is going to be a tough player to have to double up. Mugatani can run a little bit. He has 12 stolen bases. So we'll see what the Buffaloes have in mind here. I think if it was me, I think safety squeeze would be in order. Get her down, see what they might have in mind over on the defensive side. At least the runner from first would be able to get into scoring position, but make it a bit of a read play. So here we go. Here comes the first pitch. It's on its way, and he swings at a breaking ball. There goes the runner down to second. The throwdown is not in time. So sliding in safely with a stolen base is Oshiro. That's going to be his second of the season. But no balls and 1 strike to Mugatani. Keep an eye here on the Eagle defense if they're going to bring the defense in, and it looks like they will, as they are on the proverbial artificial grass turf. So no balls and 1 strike. Nishino with the runner at third. Pitch on the way is a breaking ball missing inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. Nishino at third, Oshiro at second. 1 gone here in the second inning. Buffaloes, for the second time in as many innings, are looking to try to punch in a run. Outfield is shallow in left and center, a little bit deeper in right field. As the lefty Fuji holds to the set, now fires. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field. That's going to get at least 1 run in. Here comes the throw to the plate, but slamming on the brakes at third base is Oshiro. So a single and an RBI off the bat of Mugatani. He gets himself an RBI. That's going to be his 10th of the year. Into scores Nishino. And the Buffaloes have taken an early 1-0 lead here in the last half of the second inning. Well, that'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. Well, for Haruka, he led off the ballgame with a base hit in inning number 1. As he is 1 for 1 so far. We were looking ahead to when the Pacific League and Central League Climax Series will begin. It'll be Saturday, the 11th of September, and of October, and the 12th of October, Saturday and Sunday, will be the first games in the series. As the lefty holds set, now delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Haruka. No times on those games have been announced yet. One would have to hope that they would probably try to stagger the start time on the games. At least I would hope they would. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the lefty again works himself to the belt. Pitch on the way. There's a slow breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes now to 2-0 on Haruka. And then once that is completed, then the championship series will begin on the 15th, which is Wednesday. Both the Pacific League and Central League will be going. It's the one thing I complain about in the Japanese League is that they should have staggered starts, or at least go every other day so that there's a feature game on in the country each night. He thrown it over to first base, and getting back there easily is the runner Mugatani. Keep your eye on Mugatani, see if they'll put him off to the races. And then when we look even further ahead, the Japan series will get going on Saturday, the 25th of October. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 2-1 on Haruka. So Saturday, October 25th, and then Sunday, the 26th, game 1 and 2. That'll be the home games will be in the Pacific League. The middle three frames will be played by the Central League. Be at their home stadium on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the middle part of the year. And then if it goes further than that, we go into November as they throw over to first base and diving back in time as the runner Mugatani. They are concerned about him and his speed. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty Fuji holds set. Now delivers. Fastball swung on, chopped over the head of the pitcher into center field for a base hit. And that's going to get another run in as Oshiro will cross the plate. Stopping at second is Mugatani. And an RBI single off the bat of Haruka has the Buffaloes extending their lead to 2-0. And that'll bring up the first baseman in Ryo Ota. Good piece of hitting there by Haruka to be on time with the pitch. He chopped it over the pitcher's head. So the Buffalo faithful are feeling good about themselves right now. So Ota comes to bat. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He has flown to right field his only trip to the plate. I was thinking of last night's game and how the game went crazy, and our friend God is Great said earlier, he says, hopefully this game will be as good as yesterday. We can only hope. That's a tough act to follow, that's for sure. And here comes the first offering, and the pitch is a fastball swung on. It's grounded third right through Mikael Franco into left field. Rounding third and heading home with the third run is Mugatani. The throw comes in, it gets by Franco. Oh, the calamity is just taking place here in the second inning as the Buffaloes have gone on to a 3-0 lead. Ota slides in safely at second. Haruka is all the way over to third. We're going to have to see how they're scored, but as far as I'm concerned, that's going to be an error on the third baseman. I'll have to wait for the official report on this one. We'll get a look at it again. It just gobbled him up, and I have to tell you, that is difficult. Very, 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 very difficult. Because when the ball is grounded to third base, they play on cutouts at the Kisara Dome. And if you're not used to that type, if the ball hits the dirt, you better stay down. It doesn't give you a true hop. And if that ball stayed down, which it did stay down, but it did appear to hit the dirt, and that would have gobbled up Franco pretty quick. You can't play it like it's a turf hop. First pitch, fastball delivered to Kobayashi, and he swings and misses, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Runners are at second and third here with 1 gone in the second inning. Have to see what the official score comes up with on that one. They're not exactly the quickest. Buffaloes already have 6 hits in the ball game. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped in front of home plate. That the home plate umpire has called time, and rightfully so, as it's been fouled off of the foot of Kobayashi. Going to make the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. They are a little bit slow in getting their information out as the umpire. Oh, I don't know. Kobayashi, as he had chopped it, he was the one who was selling it to the umpire that he got hit. I personally think if he would have just left it as he might get himself an RBI. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty holds to the set. Fuji ready to deliver. Fastball swung on, grounded foul. Third base side, the count remains at 0-2 to Kobayashi. Definitely not too quick to make their scoring decision as we wait on this. Buffaloes have a 3-0 lead here in the second inning. As Kobayashi bends at the knees 2 or 3 times here. Waiting on the pitch from Fuji, on its way. Breaking ball swung on, golfed into center field. Should be deep enough to get the run in. Making the catch over the shoulder is the center fielder. Nice play there by Nakashima, tagging at second and heading to third is Oda, and that's going to be another run. It's going to be a sacrifice fly off the bat of Kobayashi. He gets an RBI. That's the second out of the inning. Oda advances over to third, and Haruka scores the 4th run of the inning for the Buffaloes, as they have brought the bats out here in this half of the inning. So that is going to bring up it looks like they did rule that as an error, an E5. They finally have made the decision, E5 on Franco. That is how Oda got himself aboard. So the first pitch delivered to Nakagawa. He swings and almost takes the head off of the runner Oda at third base as he fouls that one away. Absolute bullet. Nakagawa, the 8th batter to come to bat here in the second inning, as the Buffaloes have stuck 4 on the board. Runner at third, 2 gone, as the lefty Fuji kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, and another one grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and now the count's 0-2. And if you're Maikel Franco, you got to figure that you're like a magnet over there. That is generally the rule of thumb, is when a guy makes an error, the ball will find him again and again and again until he can prove that he can make the play. And that is seemingly what's going on here in the second inning. So the lefty again getting his sign as he works himself to the belt. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. Kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We will keep you updated on the scores from around the NPB. As we mentioned, there is other action around going on, and there is scoring in the other games. It is 1-1 in the top of the third at the Balluna Dome between the Lions and the Hawks. Dragons have a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. That is in the top of the second. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Count goes even to 2-2 on Nakagawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty Fuji works himself again to the belt. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, lined into left field, and that's going to get another run in. An RBI single off the bat of Nakagawa, as he has got the 5th run brought home, and is in to score is Oda. And that is going to bring the batter Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate, who is the 9th hitter to come to bat, but the manager, Mickey, already on his way to the umpire, and that looks like it is going to be the end of the night for Fuji, as he has been an absolute piñata so far here in this one. A 5 spot in inning number 2, and they are not out of the woods yet. Well, we got a pitching change on our hands here in inning number 2. We'll take a little time out. We'll come back in just a few with all the action. Hang tight, everybody. Pitching change for the Eagles.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Masahiro Ihara coming into the ball game, as he will be the second pitcher used tonight by the Eagles. He is taking over for Masaru Fuji, who really did not have a good showing here tonight, as he was an absolute battering ram, and that is where we stand here. So as he completes his tune-up tosses, I can tell you it is going to be Kenya Wakatsuki to come to bat with a runner at first and 2 gone. Manager Mickey sitting in the dugout, arms crossed. Well, who knows? Last night the game was 6-1 through 6 innings, and that's when the fireworks began. So you never know what is going to happen here. The right-hander who is taking over, just completing his tune-up tosses, the 25-year-old on the season, making his 29th appearance of the year. As the right-hander is just finishing off what he has done, he has got a record of 1-1. He has worked 29 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed 32 hits, walking 18, only striking out 14, but pitching to a 243 earned run average. So Ihara takes over here on in relief. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Wakatsuki. Hitter number 9, as we said, to come to the plate here in inning number 2. 5-0 Buffalo lead early on as the right-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball just misses outside, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. When I was in Taiwan and saw the Monkeys play, they are sponsored by the same team, which is Rakuten, or the same company, which is Rakuten. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. 1-2 now to Wakatsuki. And the colors are exactly the same. They've got the maroon tops, the white pants. The only thing that is different is that the Rakuten Monkeys are in the Chinese league, and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are in the Japanese league. But they do have similar, and it's also Chihao Sung, who is Taiwanese, and there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Wakatsuki's gone on strikes. He's out for out number 3. That's going to do it. I'll come back and talk about Chihao Sung when we return in just a few, but lots of runs in the inning. 5 runs in the inning on the benefit of 5 hits. There was an error, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we are through 2 complete. It is the Buffaloes 5 and the Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few right after this musical timeout. Right back, everybody.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. That means Tsuyoshi Ishihara, the Yuya Ogo, and the top of the order in Daisuke Nakashima. As the lefty Hiroya Miyagi, only 17 pitches to take care of the Eagles in the first 2 innings. There was a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Ishihara. Ishihara only hitting 111 on the year. No homers and 3 RBIs. The big fella here waiting on the offering from the lefty. delivers a fastball. It swung on and popped up over on the first base side, but it's going to reach the seats, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we'll keep you abreast on the games that are going on around the NPB tonight, as there are a couple of games early. 2-1 now. The Hawks have the lead over the Lions. That's in the top of the third. As that breaking ball is taken for a called third strike, and that'll be the second strikeout recorded tonight by Miyagi. Ishihara in the books. He's gone for out number 1. And I'll bring up the right fielder in Yuya Ogo. I wonder when Miyagi gets his crack at Major League Baseball. He reminds me a lot of Shota Imanaga. And I think if I'm the Buffaloes, you might as well post them. You've already got a championship here in the last few years. You sold off Yoshida. You sold off Yamamoto. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Ogo. Ogo hitting 171 this year, a couple homers and 11 RBIs, coming off a career year where there was a lot expected of him this year, and he couldn't have been any worse with some of his numbers. Breaking ball swung on, chopped over to second, fielded on the run by Oshiro. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Ogo. It's a ground out, 4-3. So 2 in the books here quickly, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Daisuke Nakashima. Well, for Nakashima, 0-for-1 tonight, grounded to third his first time up. Miyagi here, 22 pitches to get the first 8 outs of the ball game. Pretty impressive stuff. Very economical. First pitch on the way. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakashima batting from the left side here. He grounded out to third his first time up, as he waits on the offering from the lefty, who kicks and delivers. Breaking ball down. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Nakashima. Miyagi goes to the rosin bag. Our friend Harrison checking back in, raising his hand, says he's here. Welcome, Harrison. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Mune with a really nice play. Does a 360. He throws to first, and he's not going to be able to get the runner. And that is going to be an error. We're going to have to wait and see who the error is charged to. Is it going to go to Mune, or is it going to go to the first baseman? I want to get a look at that one again. It was a ground ball the other way. Mune fielded it, and he had a bit of a hard time getting it out of the glove. And then when he fired to first base, it took the first baseman off of the bag to the outfield side. Ended up hitting him in the heel, and that's going to go as E5. Harrison said he fell asleep, and the next thing you know, it's a 5 spot on the board for the Buffaloes. Yeah, absolutely. But don't go away, because last night, that didn't mean anything. There's a first pitch breaking ball swung on and missed by Muniyama. Although I have to say, Hiroya Miyagi was not on the mound last night for the Yokohama Ball Club. The starter, Andre Jackson, who gave them 6 great innings and battled, as there's a breaking ball missing down and away. The bullpen couldn't bring it home last night for the Bay Stars. Harrison said he came in when the game started and fell asleep. It's because the football game you're at today probably wore you out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. Speaking of which, how was that football game today? I think he said he was going to see Columbia and Georgetown. I didn't even know if Georgetown had a team. Football team. I don't remember Georgetown ever having a football program. There's a breaking ball swung on it, grounded over to first. Fielded on the backhand. What a nice play there by the first baseman, Oda, and he's going to step on the bag, and that is going to do it here. Ground out to 3 to end the inning as they avoid any damage from the error. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 3. It is the Buffaloes 5 and the Eagles no score. Stay with us, everybody. Harrison's going to keep us updated with the Columbia over Georgetown 19-10 victory. Can hardly wait for all the details. We'll be right back in just a few. It is a 5-0 ball game, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Back, everybody. It's going to be the coming to bat here for the Buffaloes is going to be Nishino, Imune, and Oshiro. That would be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. As Ihara, who took over in the last half inning, is ready to go here. The first pitch on the way is a fastball on the inside corner, taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So Nishino doubled and scored a run his first time up. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ihara. As again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the left field side, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Gracie Lynn in the house. She says, good morning from beautiful rainy Spain. Rain in Spain mainly stays on the plane, I thought it was. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. As Ihara kicks and delivers a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. Gracie Lynn missed one of the more bizarre and exciting baseball games we had called all year last night. And that is typically the case. After the 6th inning, the game went sideways. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. You sometimes call games and you don't remember that you called them, and then, of course, you've got something else. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, there is a split finger pitch swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2 to Nishino. She said yesterday was beautiful and sunny, 80 degrees every day until today. And it's rainy and 70. Rainy and 71 tomorrow. Well, that's the send-off from Spain for you. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count 1-2 to Nishino. Here they were calling for a deluge of rain all weekend. And we got to stay today out with the little kids today. We have a little program with the small ones and no rain there. And then as the older ones came in, nothing there. And we'll play a doubleheader tomorrow with the teenagers and no rain anymore in the forecast after it looked like it was going to be an absolute deluge potentially on the weekend. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Ihara works himself set. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is a bizarre week here, too. We have a holiday on the 30th. So people go to work on Monday. They get Tuesday off. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday they go back to work as that fastball misses down and away. But the interesting thing is one of the school boards up here on the game on, or they have a Pro D day on the Friday. They got the weekend off, and Monday they have to go back to school, and Tuesday they get a holiday. Whoever made that schedule should be fired. There's a fastball swung on it as line foul down the third base line, and the count remains at 3-2 to Nishino. Gracie Lynn says, am I going to do any of the final MLB games tomorrow? They all start at noon Pacific. Unfortunately for me, that is a no-go because I'm going to be on a ball field tomorrow from about 9 in the morning until probably about 4 in the afternoon. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander works himself to the set, here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into right center field. It's going to get down. Coming in to scoop it up is the center fielder, Nakashima, and he fires it back in. So Nishino wins the battle. That was a 10-pitch at bat. That's his second hit of the ball game. The Detroit Tigers made it in today with a victory over the Red Sox 2-1. But I'm not sure where they're going to land in terms of a playoff picture. They are currently tied with the Guardians, so they would need to win tomorrow. The Guardians would have to take one on the chin for the Tigers to win the Central. It's going to change a little bit. I'm not really sure. I saw earlier the Mariners were beating the Dodgers tonight. As there's a breaking ball that misses down. Counts 1-0 to Yumamune. I guess that's really what we got left to talk about is where the standings are going to fall. I saw that the Blue Jays were winning today. They hold the tiebreaker with the Yankees, so all they got to do is win, as they are in the first place, I do believe. So Blue Jays are in the top spot. There's a fastball that misses down. Count is 2-0. So as of right now, it would look like it would be the Blue Jays and the Mariners would get the bye in the first round, or possibly the Yankees if the Blue Jays lose tomorrow and the Yankees win. Tigers are going to be, it's a question whether they host a wild card game or on the road. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 3 balls and no strikes to Mune. I was thinking about that earlier. I wonder what the largest score in the NPB has been this year. I should go back and take a look at the stats. Let's see who's put up a big number, or what the largest margin of victory would be. I guess that could be easily accessed if I went back and took a look at the numbers. 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside and goes all the way to the backstop. Rounding second and looking to go to third, but now throwing on the brakes is Nishino. It's going to be ball 4 as Mune is going to get himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out. It's going to bring Koji Oshiro to the plate. Friend Gracie Lynn said, what happened last night? Well, looked like the Bay Stars cruising at that point yesterday. They were up 6-1 through the 6th inning. And then the Giants scored 3 runs, I believe it was in the 7th inning, to make it 6-4. Bay Stars hit a 2-run homer to make it 8-4 in the 8th, and you'd think, that's enough to secure a victory. Well, the Giants scored 5 in the top of the 9th, and they ended up winning that game as a final 9-8. That was one of the wildest finishes I've seen, as I said, since maybe the Bay Stars and the Carp early on this season. Our friend Jimmy in the house. Fastball misses up. Jimmy also in a good mood, I'm sure, as the Cincinnati Reds, which are his team, in the driver's seat for a final playoff push, holding the tiebreaker over the Mets. They've just got to win tomorrow. It's up to their offseason acquisition of Brady Singer to bring it home, but he's got to face Freddie Peralta. So, big game in Milwaukee tomorrow for the Reds. 1-0 on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Oshiro. So, the question will be is it going to be the Guardians at home or the Tigers at home? I guess it really doesn't matter. The Tigers have been stinking it up, so I have to wait and see. I'm sure their fan base isn't exactly the most happy. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And it's true, the Yankees could be 4th or 1st, as is the Blue Jays. I didn't check tonight to see what the Mariners were up to. I know they were playing the Dodgers. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains a 1-2. I will say this, as Jimmy Redbrood says, it's definitely going to be a tight game. He thinks he can do it Francona is smart, so hopefully he can pull it off. Yeah, I agree with that. Francona is pretty smart. You have him in the dugout, and that is the one thing. Not that Pat Murphy isn't a sharp guy, but really the Brewers have it all in the bag right now. They're just sort of making sure everybody stays healthy and getting ready. They've got themselves a bye. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. It's now 2-2 to Oshiro. Our friend Nick in the house, he says that the Dodgers won 5-3 tonight. Yeah, I think it was a 3-2 Mariner lead when I last looked, and then I didn't really look in too tight. Gracie Lynn says, are the Brewers going to run out Peralta? Yeah, I do. I think they'll bring him out. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, I'm not sure what Oshiro was looking at, but it was strike 3 that went right down the middle of the plate. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Yusuke Mugatani. Yeah, I think they'll run Peralta out, but I think they'll probably run him to 5 innings or 80 pitches, something along those lines. They want to try to keep him sharp and on a regular rotation. I don't think you want to let him sit for another week after he's already sat a few days. So yeah, I do think Peralta will go, but he'll probably be 80 pitches. And if you're smart, if you're the Reds, you're going to be working him as much as you can. Here's the first pitch. Delivered to Mugatani. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. Mugatani, in his last at bat, he had himself a base hit single and he drove in a run. He also scored a run. Gracie Lynn said Brewers have home field all the way through the World Series. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. Best record in all the MLB after the Phillies loss. I don't think the Brewers are going to get to the World Series. It would be a nice story if they did, but I just don't see them at this point. I think they're going to run into somebody over on that other side there, with whether it be the Phillies or the Dodgers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Who knows? Maybe even the Padres. Nick says he's got tickets for the game of one of the Brewers Divisional Series, first playoff baseball game. That's pretty cool, Nick. I've actually never been to a Major League Baseball playoff game. I bought tickets for my parents a few years ago to see Texas and Detroit. I think Doug Fister had picked up a win in that game they went to. There was a fastball that misses down, and the count's 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of the ticket prices down in Seattle, the word I would use to describe it, are just gross. I mean, I don't mind going to see a game, but I refuse to pay the inflated price that you're going to have to be gouged for a divisional game, a game that's just one of the games in the process. But I guess if you're Major League Baseball and you can command it, do it. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. It's going to slice into the seats, and the count is 2-2. Our friend Jimmy said, I would feel kind of a little bit better if Green was on the mound, but Singer has looked good as of late. Yeah, Singer, who started off the season really well, went in a bit of a swoon where he was kind of win one, lose one. And now it looks like that Singer is back on song, at least in his last few starts. So that will come in handy here for the Reds if he can get himself a victory. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off over on the third base side of home plate. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gracie Lynn said the Braves never had a playoff ticket cheaper than $300 for garbage seats during a playoff run. If you want to go, you're going to have to pony up. Well, I could sit at home and watch TV or online. Don't have to pay that kind of price for that. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball that is lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2 to Mugatani. Mugatani's going to be a tough one to double up. He does have some wheels. Again, the left-handed hitting center fielder of the Buffaloes waiting on the pitch from Ihara. Buffalo's looking to add to their already gaudy number here in the third inning. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way, fastball down. Good stop there by the catcher Ishihara. Runs the count to 3-2. Gracie Lynn says she doesn't blame the LLB. They saw what the NFL can do and they figured try it. Yeah, absolutely. NFL, some of the ticket prices there have gone absolutely insane. I remember when I was getting tickets to see Barry Sanders carry the rock in Detroit, season ticket holder for 5 years. And I think my season tickets started at $30 a game. And you had to buy the 2 exhibition games as well. As that fastball misses outside, it's going to be ball 4. Mugatani's going to walk. That's going to load the bases. And that is going to advance Nishiro to third. Mune is over to second with Mugatani at first. It'll be the top of the order and Taisei Haruka coming to bat. Nick says he had to get standing room tickets to make the math work. Yeah. Redbeard says, kind of interesting to see what they'll do with the playoffs when they decide what to do with the expansion teams. Yeah, expansion teams is going to be a problem because really right now, when you think about it, there's just not enough pitching in this game for 32 teams, let alone 30. Money talks, but you got to think about the contraction probably being a better piece, and that's not going to happen. The money's too good for the owners. Here's the pitch. First pitch, fastball swung on and fouled away by Haruka. Haruka has had a bat in every inning so far in this one, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. Both singles, he has scored a run and driven in a run, raising his average up to 259 on the year. Yeah, Gracie Lynn said $30. Yeah, it was $300 for season tickets. And then I remember when they made the playoffs one year, it went up to $35, and we were sitting in the upper level. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, count as 0-2. We were sitting upper level, about 35-yard line, about maybe 8 rows from the rail. Liked the seats because I liked sitting up high. I liked being able to see the play develop. And we liked our seats. Yeah, between 35 and 40-yard line on the Alliance sideline. And we gave up our tickets the year that Barry Sanders had retired. We didn't know Sanders was going to pack it in. There was a fastball that misses outside. Count goes to 1-2. We said after 5 years, we said enough of this. They're playing at the old Pontiac Silverdome. Had to drive north of Detroit. It was about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, to get to Pontiac. And you get to Pontiac, and I remember it was like $6 for parking. Here's the 1-2 pitch. On the way, it is a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2. But those were the days. Those were the days of the decent tickets. Those were the days when you could get yourself a beer at a somewhat reasonable price. I think it was 98 or 99 when Sanders had packed it in. So you take the 5 years before that, that's where we were at. Although I didn't get to a couple playoff games because I was out of the country for a couple of them as that fastball misses up and away. I was at the playoff game when the Lions beat the Cowboys in, 91 to get to the NFC Championship where they lost to the Redskins. That was pretty cool. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Haruka waiting here on the pitch from Ihara, who delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, another one lifted into the seats foul down the right field line. 2-2 it remains to Haruka. I have to say, pretty good crowd tonight on hand at the Kyocera Dome. As we sent for a game here that has pretty much decided everything we want to see. As we said, there is games that are still going on, and in the NPB with games that'll be left, we are going to be on the call up until next weekend. They'll call a couple of more games. 2-2 pitch ready to come. Fastball misses up and away. Saturday game, it'll be, I'll have to take a look. We might do the game between the Fighters and the Marines, depending on the weather. Even Sunday, there could be some action as well. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as it is here to Haruka. Ahara delivers fastball swung on, lifted into deep left center field. Going back onto the edge of the warning track and making the catch over the shoulder. Nice play by the center fielder, Nakashima. Tagging at third and heading home is Nishino. So that's going to go as a sacrifice fly to 8. The second RBI of the game for Haruka. And that is going to be the second out of the inning. And it'll bring up the first baseman in Ryo Oda, but has extended the lead to 6-0 for the Buffaloes. Gracie Lynn says, when's our next stream? It's probably going to be on the weekend, next weekend. I can't do anything Monday, can't do anything Tuesday. This week, Tuesday, I'll be over on the island again. So Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday potentially could be something with the wild cards. I'll have to take a look at that. She says any wild card round games, might try to do 1 or 2. Have to wait and see how that shapes up. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses way outside. Count is 1-0 to Oda. Just have to kind of wait and see what we're going to try to pull off. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything. Have to look at the timing of the games. Problem is it's the nighttime stuff that's the issue. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Daytime games, at least here on the coast, would be an easier piece for me. And if I look at the schedule, that would be where that would be. Tuesday is when it is. The wild cards get going. Can't do anything at all on Tuesday. Fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. 1-2 now on Oda. If I had to do something maybe on Wednesday, probably the early games, which looks like it could be Boston. Potentially at the American League 2, whoever that's going to be. That would either be either the Yankees or the Tigers, but I'm not sure. I have to wait and see how that shapes up. I don't think it'll be the Cubs. Well, it could be the Cubs. The fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. Looks like it's the ESPN platform that's going to be taking care of the games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday wildcards. And you get to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Nothing on Friday, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There'll be games scheduled, so probably would have to be into the following week. But then we're getting into the sort of the night games and afternoon stuff, and that's going to rule me out. There's a fastball swung on, grounded in through the 6-hole into left field. Slamming on the brakes at third is Mune. Another base hit here by Oda. The hit parade just continues for the Buffaloes. Everything that's thrown up to the plate by the Golden Eagles is getting whacked around. And so it is bases loaded here, and that's going to bring Kentaro Kobayashi to the plate. Gracie Lynn says they got a potential for the Red Sox, Yankees, and that would be kind of good. It would be nice to see those two teams kill each other off, at least one of them. Get that Red Sox, Yankees out of the way. Nick has a good question, and this might be something here. Our friend Jimmy says, have a great day. Well, I appreciate it, Jimmy. We'll try to touch base with you. I know Jimmy's been working some days lately, and it's not conducive to me touching base with him, but I try to connect with our good friend Jimmy. We talk quite a bit. And so let me know how the daughter's doing, and maybe you got to get some warm milk for yourself to get back to bed. So here comes Kentaro Kobayashi to the plate. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses down and away, and it's 1-0 to Kobayashi. Bases full of Buffaloes. Our friend Nick asked the question. He says, what's your thoughts on regular season baseball versus playoff ball? Yeah, playoff baseball is a whole other animal. It's kind of like playoff hockey. I'm not wasting my money going to watch an NHL hockey game, as there's a fastball missing upstairs. The count's 2-0 to Kobayashi. Regular season hockey versus playoff hockey is just a whole other caliber. Crowd into it. Pace of the play way better. So yeah, you're in for a treat. So 2 balls and no strikes as Ihara leans in, works himself back to the belt. Bases full of Buffaloes. 2 gone here. Pitch on the way. Center cut fastball taken for a called strike. It's now 2-1 to Kobayashi. "49 pitches here in the inning plus by Ihara. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-1. Oh boy, I think the Eagles are going to have to keep their bullpen ready here. Gracie Lynn says the playoffs are about the only times in American sports when you can't take a nap at the stadium. No atmosphere in the regular season games, very intense at postseason. Yeah, that's probably a fair statement. Here comes the 3-1 pitch as Ihara kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. And the count is full. Nowhere to put Kobayashi, but there is 2 gone here in the inning, so the runners now are going to be on the move. Mune, the runner at third, Mugatani at second, and Oda at first. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop of the Buffaloes. As the right-hander Ihara works to the set. This is like a live batting practice. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 3-2. One thing I will say is that going to games in Japan, doesn't matter how the scoreline goes. It could be a big-time score one way or the other. And the Japanese fans do not leave their seats. They stay right in and watch the game right to the bitter end. As the right-hander again works himself to the set position. Ihara ready to go. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, lined into right field. This ball is going to get over the head of the right fielder and all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And it's going to be a bases clearing double by Kobayashi. And that is going to increase the scoreline to 9-0. A 3-run double off the bat of the Buffaloes shortstop. Cashes in Mune and Mugatani, and also brings home the runner Oda all the way from first. And Ihara here has been not any more effective than the starter Fuji. So I'm not sure what the over-under in this game is now, but the over definitely has been one of those. Our friend Gracie Lynn says she doesn't think there's been a commercial break in the 20 minutes since she's been here. Nope. This is going to be the 8th hitter coming to bat in the inning. Yes, last inning they batted around. They're looking to pull the trick again here. Nakagawa coming to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He has a single and an RBI. I wonder if Kobayashi is going to get the rest of the night off here. Nope. As he heads back out onto the field, it looks like we may have ourselves a pitching change as Ihara's night is done. And just for our friend Gracie Lynn, we are going to give you guys a little commercial break. As hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment here. Got to give you guys a pitching change as Ihara's night is over.
Hello, everybody. Steve Rodmacher coming back at you again. And during this pitching change, for a change of pace, let's open some baseball cards. We'll get through these quickly. 2023 Topps Big League. We have rookie card of Tyler Freeman to go along with a Matt Chapman. And why not a Jake Cronenworth? Shoot 'em, Jake! We do have a rookie card of Brett Beatty. That's pretty cool. To go along with the uncommon Carlos Correa. Pretty common to me, but what do I know? Trey Mancini to go along with a rookie of Kodai Senga. Freddie, tell them about Kodai. And one of my favorites, Devin Williams of my Milwaukee Brewers. All right, looks like the pitcher's coming in. Freddie, you can take over now.
Yeah, well, this is an interesting pitching change as it's going to be Takahiro Norimoto coming into the ball game. The one-time starter who turned into the closer a couple of years ago is on the mound here, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down to Kai Nakagawa for ball one. Interesting, he is 3-4 on the season. He's got 16 saves. He has worked 54 2/3 innings as the right-hander. He has allowed 57 hits, 19 walks, 42 strikeouts, and he's got a 2.96 ERA. So I wonder why they're bringing him in here in the third inning. There's a fastball swung on. It's chopped over the head of the pitcher. It is stopped by the second baseman, and as it was going into center field, Kirby Ashie is going to slide safely into third. Nakagawa's got to get himself an infield hit, and the hit parade and the barrage just continues here for the Buffaloes, as that's going to put runners on the corners with two gone, and it'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, if you're Wakatsuki, I don't know what to say. In the first inning, he bounced into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Last inning, he struck out looking to end the inning. And here he is here with a chance to keep the inning going with two out, or in this particular case, could be the rally killer to end the inning again for the third consecutive inning. So Wakatsuki 0 for 2 tonight, batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Norimoto. And the first pitch is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count is 1-0. Gracie Lynn says over-under for a seventh inning position player. You don't see that in the Japanese game so much. Every once in a while, you get maybe somebody in the ninth, but not like the nonsense we're witnessing in Major League Baseball. I think it's disgusting, to be honest with you. There's a fastball that misses down. Count is 2-0. I was trying to think of the center fielder for the Red Sox last night who came into game a couple seasons ago. It would be about maybe 4 years ago. Red Sox were getting beat up. They bring in the pitch. They bring him in to pitch, and he's sitting on 95. It was unbelievable. I was just like, what? And then after about 20 pitches, after he couldn't throw enough strikes, they were like, hey, we got to shut this down. But he came in absolutely pumping gas. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike to Wakatsuki. Well, this may be the plan. The Eagles might have him exactly where they want him right now. We're almost at 90 minutes. We've got ourselves a ball game here that is almost out of hand again. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count now 3-1 to Wakatsuki. I guess I just can't seem to pick the games right on the weekend. If you just joined us, the ticker at the bottom of the screen is not incorrect. 3 balls and 1 strike to Wakatsuki as the right-hander Norimoto holds set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Franco fields it. He throws to first. And just like that, Wakatsuki is for 3 times the last out or involved in the last out of the inning as he grounds out 5-3 to end it here for out number 3. Well, in the inning, they got another 4 runs, did the Buffaloes. 4 runs on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move now to the top of the 4th inning, it is a 9-0 game. Eagles looking for a touchdown when we come back in just a few. Appreciate you for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Gracie Lynn says she's heading out for the day. You got to make sure that you get that breakfast. Don't forget, as you are making your way out of the year. We appreciate you, as always, for coming by. The first pitch delivered by Miyagi is a breaking ball that is swung on and grounded through the 4-hole, as that'll be a leadoff single here off the bat of Kurakawa. So he has got himself a knock. That's the 3rd hit here for the Eagles. We'll bring up the designated hitter in Luke Voigt. Gracie Lynn says she's going to try to do that. And enjoy your plane rides back. Hopefully they will be safe and sound back to the US of A. So Luke Voigt stepping to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled in his only trip. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Voigt. As I was talking about Voigt in his last time that he came in, I was thinking about how I really was impressed with the way that he has walked into the lineup. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. You often see players that come in and they don't get on track, or it takes them forever. And he definitely came in and has made his presence felt in Tohoku. Lefty Miyagi holding to the set now delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hiroya Miyagi, the lefty starter for the Buffaloes, looking to pick up his 7th win of the year. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It goes to 2-2 on Voigt. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miyagi again ready to go. Checks the runner at first, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded over on the first base side. Count 2-2 it remains. Again, the lefty ready to go again as he works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over at the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Long night already for the Golden Eagles as they find themselves down by 9 here in inning number 4. Voigt swings and he lifts this one up into shallow right field. And this ball is going to get down for a base hit as it bounces in front of the right fielder, Haruka, who is able to pick it up. So the 2nd hit of the night for Voigt. And back-to-back singles here for the Eagles, and they've got something brewing in their half of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. I would have to think that a 9-run lead. I wonder what the biggest lead in the NPB was this season that somebody has come back on. That would be kind of neat. We were talking in the last half inning about the score lines and the double-digit scores and maybe where the scores were pretty big. I know early in the year, the Giants beat the Swallows 12-0. It was a large spread. First pitch to Asamura swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Almost want to see how many times double-digit runs have been scored. Not only double-digit runs, but how many times have been the score lines. As there's a fastball swung on, it has popped up into center field. Coming in underneath it and making the catch is Mugatani, and that is going to retire Asamura for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the third baseman and Mikael Franco. As I say, I'm curious to see where the large double-digit numbers. The Buffaloes stuck an 11th spot on the Fighters in early April. Hawks did this similar to the Lions. So Franco stepping into the plate. He is a 1-for-1 today. He singled his first time up. Raised his season average up to 241. First pitch from Miyagi. Fastball backs him off the plate for ball one. Counts 1-0. So 1 ball in, no strikes. Lefty Miyagi ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down. 2 balls and no strikes to Franco. So Franco's going to got himself in a good hitting spot here. Back in May, the Golden Eagles put a 14 spot on the Buffaloes. And there is a breaking ball that misses down, and it's now 3 balls and no strikes to Franco. Miyagi ready to load the bases here. As of right now, that would be the largest score line, 14 runs by a club that I have been able to pick out. That was in the month of May. Miyagi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded to third, and it's booted by Mune. Goes over to the shortstop, but he's going to be able to make the play. Oh, my goodness. So that takes away an error from Mune. That's going to go down in the books as a ground out. It's going to be 5-6-3 on the putout. So Franco is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. Advancing over to third is Kurikawa. Voit makes it over to second. Everything just going the right way of the Buffaloes. That was the Golden Eagles. It would probably be a different kettle of fish. Unbelievable. That's how the Buffaloes must have drawn it up. Unreal. Well, Miyagi kicks and delivers, in the first pitch to Yukiya Ito is a fastball that misses outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I think it was this year that I think it was the Royals put a 20 spot on the Blue Jays in Major League Baseball. Pitch on the way. Fastball, take it for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1 on Ito. In June, the Hawks put a 16 spot on the board against the Carp. Just curious to see if anybody has outdone that in the NPB. 1 ball, 1 strike it is as the pitch to Ito on the way. Fastball swung on. It's going to be looped softly over the first baseman's head, and it just slices foul. Oh, how... I got to tell you, the Buffaloes, if they are just so lucky tonight. We're going to get a look here as the manager, Mickey, thought that maybe it was touched or possibly even that the ball had got down. Mickey came out of the dugout. Oh, we're going to go and have a review on this one. Oh, that's not good. So curious about that. The first baseman is Oda. They ruled it as a foul ball. Manager Mickey not really happy. He's coming out to the dugout to talk to the home plate umpire. We're going to get a look at this on the replay here. Ball was fought off the end of the fists of the bat. No, it didn't hit the first baseman, but did it stay fair? Oh boy. I don't know how they're going to position him if this is a fair ball. We're going to go look at the replay, and neither replay that we got, we're blocked out by the netting. This one here should be able to tell us a little bit more. I don't know. Question is where are you going to place the runners? If they rule that a fair ball, oh boy, and it did look like it may have hit and a little bit of the white had come up. You know, when you have the chalk lines on the grass, you're able to get the chalk will come up and will make a mark. But on the turf field, it's all painted on, and here comes the umpire. And they're going to say foul ball, so they're going to lose a challenge, will the Eagles. Going to run the count to a ball and 2 strikes on Ito. So absolutely nothing going the Eagles' way in this one tonight. So runners are at second and third, 2 gone here. As it is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ito. Miyagi working himself into the set position as he's ready to deliver. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hiroya Miyagi, or from Hiroya Miyagi to Yukiya Ito. Lefty working himself into the set position. Here comes the offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. It's down in front of the plate. And he's going to reach. Kenya Wakatsuki blocked the ball. Didn't pick it up. Didn't throw it. We're going to see how they're going to rule that one. It was a strikeout. And that is going to allow Ito to reach first. It's going to load the bases, and it's going to bring Tsuyoshi Ishihara up to the plate. Nice heads-up piece of running there by Ito to get out of the box and get down the line. Bases are full of Eagles. Gonna have to wait to see how they're going to score that one. It has been a scoring extravaganza here tonight. So here comes the first pitch to Ishihara. It's a breaking ball down. Wakatsuki with a nice stop. 1 ball and no strikes it is. Kurikawa, the runner at third. Voigt, the runner at second. The runner at first is Ito. And Ishihara waggling the bat. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. They are not hurrying with the scoring decisions here. 2-0 on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of the hitter, and now that runs the count to 2-1. Well, the official scoring is a strikeout and a wild pitch charge to Miyagi. So no error on the play. That allowed Ito to be able to reach first base. So here comes the 2-1 offering as Miyagi delivers. It's a breaking ball. Another one swung on and fouled into the feet of Ishihara, and the count now is 2-2. Our friend God is great. Says he's just popped in and listening. Well, you missed Gracie Lynn. She's already tapped out, and Jimmy Redbeard also is tapped out. It was great to have him stop into the stream tonight. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up on the right side of the infield. It's playable. Underneath it is the first baseman, Oda, and he's there to make the catch, and that is going to put the Eagles away here in the fourth inning for out number 3. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They had a couple of hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is the Buffaloes with a 9-0 lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. We'll try to keep you entertained after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 4, and slated to come to bat will be Nishino, Mune, and Oshiro for the Orix Ball Club. They are up with a 9 spot right now, 9-0 in this one. Hawks have a 2-1 lead over the Lions in the top of the 6th at the Balluna Dome. And it is 1-1 in the bottom of the 5th between the Dragons and the Tigers. That game is in the last of inning number 5. Well, the closer Norimoto still on the mound as he has taken over here. And he will be facing Masahiro Nishino as the right-hander rocks into delivery and delivers a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Norimoto kicks and fires. The fastball misses down. It's now 2-0. Norimoto came in. He allowed a single and he got a ground out to end the inning. And he falls behind here to Nishino, 2 balls and no strikes. Nishino 2 for 2 tonight, a single, double, and a couple of runs scored. As he swings at that one and lifts it foul into the seats down the left field line. Count as 2 balls and 1 strike. Norimoto ready to go back at it again. He rocks himself slowly into the windup and delivers. Fastball swung on it is lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice into the seats. Count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. And the hit parade just continues here for the Buffaloes. A single into center field off the bat of Nishino to get things going. That'll bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune tonight, he is one of the few players in the Buffalo lineup without a hit. And it looks like that is Nishino's end of the night, as his day is going to be done. We're going to get a pinch runner for him over at first base. That's your reward. You go 3 for 3 in through the first 4 innings, and it's time to have a seat. Well, that brings Yuma Mune to the plate. Mune 0 for 1 tonight. And he swings at the first pitch he sees, and he's going to lift this into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And rounding second and heading to third, and he's going to get, he's safe over at third, is the pinch runner. That's number 38. So who is the 38? That is the million-dollar question. That is Ryoto Kita. So Kita, who came in to run for Nishino, safe over at third, says the umpire. I have to tell you, I think that would be worth taking a look at. We're going to look at our replay here. Oh, I think they got to review this one. I don't know if they're going to go up and have a look, but Yumamune definitely got himself a single. Are they going up to look at it? I don't know. I know they used one challenge up already. It doesn't look like they're going to go and review. I don't know if they have the second challenge. So runners at the corners, Norimoto delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-0 on Oshiro. Oshiro 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also struck out looking. This one here is going to be shaping up like another long night tonight. Fastball down. They say that Oshiro went around, and that's going to even the count at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And definitely the call they did get right. So again, the right-hander ready to deliver. Norimoto holding set. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. Count goes to 1-2 on Oshiro. We're looking at the biggest score that was put on any team here this year. And so far, we have the Hawks sticking a 16 spot on the Carp back in June. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes even at 2-2 to Oshiro. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. But surprisingly, not as many double-digit games as one would have to think. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander again works himself to the set, delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down. It's now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oshiro waggling the bat as the right-hander holds himself to the set. Here comes the 3-2. Fastball misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and that's going to load the bases. And the Buffaloes, now with the bases loaded here in the 4th inning, nobody out, it's going to bring Yusuke Mugatani to the plate. He has singled, he has walked, and he's scored a pair of runs and driven in a run. The Golden Eagles manager, Mickey, you kind of feel bad for him in some ways. When you look at the numbers in this game, well, you can't be upset with the Buffaloes when they're hitting their way on, but that is the 3rd walk issued, at least by our count here in the first 3+ innings. Not acceptable. We were talking about last night with the Bay Stars. I don't know what it ended with, but the Bay Stars at one point had 6 walks. That was after Andre Jackson had come out of the game as that first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Mugatani. Right-hander against the left-hander as Norimoto delivers. There's a split finger pitch down in the dirt. A good stop there by the catcher Ishihara. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Norimoto, I figure they probably brought him in to get a little bit of work. I wouldn't think that they're going to extend him a whole lot here. As we said, he was a one-time starter. They moved him to the closing role. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Buffaloes have the bases loaded, threatening to add to their tally here. As the right-hander Norimoto again leans in, gets the sign. As he is ready to go back to work. And now time has been called. So I feel that Norimoto's taken a little bit too long. We were talking about, again, the biggest scores. And so unless I've made a mistake, it looks like 16 runs has been the largest score that has been put on anybody. That was the Hawks against the Carp back in June. There have been other double-digit games, but nothing quite like that. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Right-hander kicks and delivers. It is a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Mugatani is going to be retired. He's gone for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. Well, Haruka, so far in this one, he has been extremely productive. He's got 2 hits and 2 trips. He's also got a sacrifice fly and a couple RBIs. And he has scored a run. So he's been involved in a third of the Buffalo's runs. With the 2 hits that he's had tonight, he's raised his season average up to 259. As the right-hander Norimoto kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Haruka. I'm not sure what the over-under in the first 5 innings of this game was tonight, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's been demolished at this point. Only the alive ones would be a little bit different. Fastball down in the dirt. A nice stop there by Ishihara. That runs the count to 1-1. Norimoto needs to get himself a ground ball here. Roya Miyagi, a walk in the park here in this one today. He has to throw. I wonder what where they would take him out at. He has been very effective so far to this point, hardly breaking a sweat. Here's the pitch. Fastball, take it for a called strike. Count goes to 1-2 on Haruka. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander Norimoto ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, chop foul over on the third base side. It'll reach the temporary seating. Count remains at 1-2. And again, the right-handed hitting Haruka waiting on the offering from the righty Norimoto, who holds himself to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted into deep right field. Should be deep enough to get the run in. Tagging at third and heading home and scoring the 10th run of the game is Kita, as he is going to get himself a run. Buffaloes have increased their scoreline to 10-0. That's going to be a sacrifice fly, this time to 9. Third RBI of the night for Haruka. Gives him 33 now on the season for the former Giant. Have to take a look to see if the runner at second also tagged, which could be the potential case. It is the case as well, as Yuma Mune has advanced over to third. So 2 gone in the inning. It leaves it all up to the first baseman in Ryo Oda. Oda is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He has reached on an error. He has singled. He's flown to right. He has scored a pair of runs for the Buffaloes. As the right-hander Norimoto holds set, here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Oda. One thing I haven't kept tabs on is the number of pitches in this game so far. Boy, oh boy. Fuji 39, Ihara 53. As there's a fastball swung on, this ball is lifted into deep left center field, back onto the warning track, up against the wall, and making the catch is the left fielder Ito, and that is going to mercifully end this inning. They do get another run as they pad their lead. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your scores, we're now through 4 complete. It is the Buffaloes with a 10-0 lead over the Eagles. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for listening in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Tonight, we'll be right back after this.
Hey guys, Steve come back at you again. Steve Rademacher, that is. And during this intermission, let's open up a package of Garbage Pail Kids Series 4 Chrome, shall we? See what we get, then we'll come right back to the game with Freddy. Oh, very nice. I got a Ruptured Rupert. Very nice. We have a Jules Brooks to go right along with everyone's favorite Def Jeff. Sorry about the glare, but that's what Chrome do. We did get a Mosquito. You know, that's Wisconsin State bird right there. And the cracked ice is a Pinned Penny. Gotta love Garbage Pail Kids. Gotta love Freddy. Gotta love baseball. See you next time.
Welcome back, everybody. Hiroya Miyagi ready to start the 5th inning. 53 pitches through his first 4, as he's going to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Yuya Ogo. Ogo 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to second his only time up. Batting from the left side here against the KG veteran left-hander Miyagi. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It's going to be lined into center. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Ogo has got himself a leadoff single here to start the inning. I'll bring up the top of the order in Daisuke Nakashima. Well, for Nakashima, 0 for 2 tonight. He has reached on an error, and he has grounded out in his 2 trips to the plate. As he comes up ready to face Miyagi for the 3rd time in this one. Ogo gets his lead over at first. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 foot on the dirt. As Miyagi kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses up, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Nakashima ready to go again. Waits, and the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike it is. This game here today, not quite the way that we anticipated it would go. I thought Miyagi would be tough. We thought that the Buffaloes would be putting up some runs, but not this many this early. As that fastball swung on and missed, the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakashima. Miyagi kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded to second. Nice play by the second baseman, who flips it with the glove over to the shortstop Kobayashi for 1. Oshiro glove flipped it, and then Kobayashi got it fired to first, but they're not going to be able to get the speedy Nakashima. He's going to reach on a fielder's choice. It's going to erase Ogo. It's going to go in the books as a 4-6 putout. Safe at first, Nakashima, and that's going to bring Rui Muniyama to the plate. I say he does get down the line well. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1 to Muniyama. Muniyama is grounded to second and grounded to first in his 2 trips. As he stands in on the left side, there's a center cut fastball taken for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Miyagi holding set now delivers. Breaking ball waved at and missed. And Muniyama in the books. He's out for the second out of the inning. That'll leave it all up to Fumiya Kurikawa. Well, for Kurikawa, he has one of the 4 hits tonight off of, or check that, 5 hits tonight off of Miyagi. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He has also struck out. So that strikeout recorded by Miyagi by our counts is only his 4th of the night. As the lefty holds set now delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Got to tell you, if this game here continues like it is, we might be tapping out at the end of the 5th inning. We might be doing just the 5 for you tonight and then call it a break. If the game ends up like last night where the Eagles come back to win, I'll apologize to you for that. There is a fastball that misses down, but 10-0. I got to get up in about 6 hours' time. Could use as much sleep as I could possibly get. I don't know if I want to hang in here and call this mess. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count goes to 2-1. Couple things. I'm not going to give you guys a quality listen. And then the third part is can't sit here and tell jokes for 5 more innings. This is going to be very, very difficult. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's now 3-1 to Kurikawa. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Can't say I'm disappointed for sure. Miyagi, 66 pitches so far here in the 5th. He's been brilliant. Fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count goes full to Kurikawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. As I say, I wish I could maybe, if this was a close game, I would definitely want to watch it out. Pitch on the way. There's a fastball that just misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. Boy, I don't know. This home plate umpire here, got to have a feel for that. That pitch was way too close. You got yourself a 10-run spot here in the game. I'm going up with the right hand as quickly as I can. Keep this thing moving. That tells you that there's no feel for the game right now from some of the umpires. So 2 gone here, but runners at first and second. It brings Luke Voigt to the plate. This is the real reason I guess I'm hanging in here. I want to see Voigt, how he does. He's got 2 singles tonight. And the first pitch on the way from Miyagi, fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Voigt has raised his season average to 290. 13 homers and 35 runs batted in. Have to tell you, I'm happy for Luke Voigt. And I hope he can stay healthy, and I hope he gets a chance to extend his career in Japan. There's a 87-kilometer-an-hour breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. That was a Zach Greinke special, a good old Ephus pitch. He didn't take a little bit off it. He took a ton off it. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And there is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Voigt. That pitch had a lot of depth to it. That was a good pitch by Miyagi. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Voigt waggling the bat. Wonder what he's got up his sleeve here, does the crafty lefty. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lined over the head of the shortstop. It's going to get down for a base hit. They're going to try to score the runner. They cut it off. Sliding in. It's going to be an RBI single off the bat of Voigt. That is going to score the runner, Nakashima, from second base. The Eagles have got themselves their first run of the ball game. Stopping at second is Kurakawa, and it's going to bring Hideto Asamura to the plate. Well, maybe we'll have to change our minds about tapping out at the end of the fifth inning. We were talking about maybe stepping out of this one here tonight because I've got to get up in less than 6 hours' time. So Voit was his third hit tonight, and this time he picks himself up an RBI. That brings Asamura to the plate, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to right and flown to center in his 2 trips. Kind of like that for Luke Voit. I wonder what kind of contract he's going to pick up for next year. First pitch on the way. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Asamura. Asamura, in the twilight of his career, only 9 homers this year with 34 RBIs. Hitting .241. His days of the big-time RBIs, I think, are well in the past. Pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul. Over on the first base side, count is now even at a ball and a strike. I look at him and I look at Hiroki Shimouchi. They were 2 pretty good running mates. Shimouchi a little bit long in the tooth, 35 years old, real professional hitter. There's a check swing grounder right back to the pitcher Miyagi. He fields it, he throws to first. Asamura is going to be gone on a ground out 1-3 to end the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the inning. But they get a run back on an RBI single off the bat of Luke Voit. So they got 1 run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is the Eagles trailing the Buffaloes 10-1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Drafts Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Drafts Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat here. That means it is going to be Kobayashi, Nakagawa, and Wakatsuki. The Golden Eagles have gone to their bullpen again as they are bringing in a right-hander. This is number 52. This is Taisi Surasaki. So he has a little bit a different motion than the previous Norimoto. So he is in to get a little bit of work, and we're going to see how this shapes up for him. As he is making his 16th appearance of the year, he's got himself an earned run average of 375. So Taisi Surasaki in the ball game. He'll be the 4th pitcher used by the Golden Eagles tonight in this one. Well, for Kotaro Kobayashi, he has enjoyed himself a decent ball game at the plate tonight. He is 2 for 2. He's got a single, a double. He's got a sacrifice fly, and he's driven in 4 runs tonight. His 4 RBIs has pushed him up to 39 on the season. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded foul just past the bag at third base. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. If you've just joined us, it's been all Buffaloes pretty much in this one. They didn't get any runs in the first. They got 5 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Buffalo's finally responded with their first run in the 5th inning. Kobayashi waiting here as the right-hander holds himself to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball bounces into the left-handed batter's box, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Kobayashi bounces the bat on his shoulder. As the right-hander ready to deliver. There's the pitch. Fastball swung on. It's popped up over on the first base side. Over is Asamura, but he's going to watch that drift into the seats, and the count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. Sorosaki gets himself a new baseball. He's ahead in the count at 1-2. I haven't said that a whole lot tonight for the Eagles pitchers. I bet you by the time this game's done, I'm going to say it's probably going to be about 250 pitches they'll throw. There is a changeup that is waved at and missed. Kobayashi gone on strikes. He's out for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the left fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Kobayashi just waved at it. So that is going to bring up Nakagawa to the plate, and he is 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a couple of singles and RBI. He's also bounced into a fielder's choice. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Right-hander kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Digging for 2 is Nakagawa, and he's going to slide in safely with a hustle double. As they did cut it off before it got to the wall, but Nakagawa's got himself his 3rd hit of the evening. A double for him, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the night, or is it? Well, that's Ryo Adachi running out to get his gear, the former Buffalo player, now turned first base coach. Didn't wait much time getting into the coaching business, did Adachi? The one-time second baseman of the Buffalo as well. Nakagawa with the double, 1 gone here. That brings Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. Wakatsuki's had a miserable night at the plate, despite the Buffaloes being really good. 0 for 3. And he swings through a first pitch fastball, and the count is 0-1. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He has struck out, and he has grounded to third. He has ended 3 of the first 4 innings as the last batter. We'll take a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard as we'll get ourselves prepared to tap out of this one at the end of the half inning. Fastball misses up and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. Already 100, at least in my books here, 124 pitches delivered by Eagles pitchers tonight in this one. And I predicted they'll probably be between 225 and 250 when the night is done. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the right side of the infield. It's playable. Underneath it is Asamura. He's there to make the catch. Wakatsuki going to be gone for the 2nd out of the inning. Well, at least he didn't end the inning this time. And that is going to leave it all up to Ryoto Kita. Well, for Kita, he came into the ball game in the last half inning, and that looks like, is that going to be the end here of this pitcher? It looks like we've got the manager, Mickey, on his way to the mound, and that is going to be the end of the night here for the right-hander. Shockingly, that is the case. So it looks like that Sarasaki's night is going to be done. They are going to the bullpen yet again. Well, it's going to be the fifth pitcher to be used. This time it is going to be number 64 coming into the ball game. And this is going to be Yuki Hayashi taking over. So hang tight, everybody. We got another pitching change. Yuki Hayashi coming in. Not sure what the reason for that is for. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice tall cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. The left-hander Hayashi is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we'll be ready to resume the action in just a moment. As it is a 10-1 ball game for the Buffaloes here in the fifth inning. So Hayashi has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get going here. He is going to be facing Ryo Kita, who is now in as the designated hitter. Kita had come in to pinch run for Masahiro Nishino, who was 3 for 3 tonight. So this will be the first at bat for Kita, as there is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Left-hander here against the left-hander. Interesting why that the Surasaki only got to face 3 hitters. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And now Hayashi is way up in the count here at 0-2. This has got to be one of the longest first 5 innings of any game that we've ever had. 2 hours and 15 minutes, 17 minutes. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled off into the hitter. Count remains at no balls and 2 strikes, especially when you have the likes of Hiroya Miyagi, who has been brilliant pretty much in his 5 innings, only the one blemish with the run in the last half. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty holds set, now delivers. Breaking ball down, bounces over the catcher all the way to the backstop. It's going to be a wild pitch as Nakagawa is going to advance his way over to third. Going to run the count to a ball and 2 strikes on Kita. Have to take a look at that one. That ball bounced a good solid couple of feet in front of the plate right over Ishihara. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is as the lefty Hayashi works set. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and grounded foul on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. If our friend God is Great is still listening, well, we appreciate you for popping in. But as I said before, at the end of this half inning, unless we get ourselves an explosion, this is going to be the end of the night for us. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike, or swung at missed for the called third strike. That is going to do it here. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. 5 complete innings here. Got to apologize to everybody. This is 2 hours and 20 minutes. I got to be up in about 6 hours time. I certainly didn't expect this type of spread here tonight. But we're going to tap it out, and we'll be back in later in the week to give you guys some more action. Once again, it's been a Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We are tapping out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Apologize to everybody. 10-1 for the Buffaloes over the Golden Eagles. We got an early morning wake-up call, and on this game here, if the Eagles come back, I'll go do the replay and I'll add it on to this one and we can finish the game listening it together. But I don't think they're coming back. And for me, this is the end of the night. Have a great night, everybody. We will catch you again on the flip side later in the week.